hardest part of adopting your child. When my girlfriend Emma and I first saw 11-year-old Tasha at the foster meet and greet event, she was sitting in the corner reading a book while all the other kids were playing games and trying to impress potential families. She barely looked up when we introduced ourselves. The social worker, Janet, pulled us aside and told us Tasha had been in the system for 6 years, 5 different homes. The last family returned her after 3 months because she was too withdrawn. Janet said Tasha didn't even unpack her bag anymore when she moved somewhere new. What got to me wasn't that she was quiet. It was how she watched everyone like she was waiting for the catch. Like she was studying us to figure out what we wanted from her so she could decide if it was worth trying. After 6 months of home visits, therapy sessions, and slowly building trust, we were finally ready to make it official. Tasha had started unpacking some of her stuff. She even asked if we could paint her room purple. For the first time, she seemed like she believed this might actually stick. That's when we got the call that changed everything. Tasha's biological aunt Rebecca, who had refused guardianship 6 years ago when Tasha first entered the system, suddenly wanted her back. The caseworker said legally they had to consider family placement requests, even this late in the process. Emma lost it. This woman hadn't sent a birthday card, a Christmas gift, not even a phone call in 6 years. Now that all the hard work was done, now that Tasha was starting to heal, Rebecca decides she wants to play family. Rebecca claims she had a new job at some insurance company, a 2-bedroom apartment, and that blood should stick together. But every time anyone asked Tasha what she wanted, she just shook her head and stared at the floor. The worst part was the court hearing. We had to sit there while Rebecca's lawyer argued that Tasha belonged with her real family. That phrase made my stomach turn. Real family? Where was this real family when Tasha was 7 and crying herself to sleep every night? I looked over at Tasha sitting between 2 social workers. She was wearing the purple sweater Emma had bought her, the one she said made her feel brave. Her fingers were clenched so tight in her lap her knuckles were white. She hadn't said a word the entire hearing. When the judge finally asked Tasha directly who she wanted to live with, the courtroom went dead silent. Tasha looked up for the first time, glanced at Rebecca, then at us, then back at the judge. Her voice was barely a whisper, but everyone heard it. I want to live with people who didn't wait until I wasn't broken to want me. Rebecca's face went red. Her lawyer started to object, but the judge held up her hand. 3 weeks later, the adoption was finalized. But that wasn't the end of it. The emotional damage from that hearing lingered for months. Tasha started wetting the bed again, something she hadn't done since her first month with us. She kept asking us over and over, "Are you sure you still want me now that she wants me too?" The hardest part of adoption wasn't the paperwork or the waiting or even the court battle. It was proving over and over again that our love wasn't a backup plan, that we didn't choose her because no one else did. It took almost a year before she finally unpacked her bag completely. The day I found her old suitcase empty in the closet, I cried harder than I did the day the adoption was finalized.